Let's see if I can raise this up. Hi, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and tap in real quick before we have our special guest today. Welcome. This is the Queens of Production Space in I'd probably say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episode that I've done for the IG Live Talk series. I have created this series during the fall to be able to not only learn more about my, aesthetics of learning as a producer, but I also get to learn other people's spaces, other people's experiences outside of mine. Now, normally I am a producer. Both I started in the field and now in post-production for unscripted and documentary. However, I have been able to be introduced to a lot of different people in many different spaces, many different accolades in TV, film, commercial, animation, marketing, Black-owned businesses, everything, all the nines. So this will probably be our last episode for the year, as of there's a lot of big things happening with Queens of Production in December. So I wanted to kind of like let December be my break off. So this will be my last one. I am so excited for this special guest because I've seen his accolades and he is pretty dope. Shout out to the men that are in the creative spaces. I know that y'all don't get that much love, especially out there, but I think today, and even with our IG Live Talks, we really want to have the male voice. This special guest that I have, his name is Luis Santos. He is from New York, and he is going to give all of his perspective from not only heavily in the director side, but producing, and I think he's done all little accolades. But the biggest thing that he's done heavily is music and commercials, short films, features, all the nines. But music has really been his captivating because he also works for Vivo. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring him in and just get us right into it. I think he's already in here.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? You as
Good,
well.
excited to be speaking to you. Thank you for holding time to speak with me.
Listen,
That's
I
it's
have,
amazing. I'm
I know
excited.
that you follow Queens of Production. Thank you for just opening the space. Of course, we are always educating, elevating, collaborating. And I just seen your Rolodex and your resume. And I was like, yo, if I don't have this special gem in here, I don't know what I'm doing with my IG Live talk. So definitely, we only got a short amount of time. So I definitely want to, dive right in. Where are you from? And kind of what made you have the director's eye? Because I know the biggest thing with the director, at least of what I've learned, and camera in that world, shout out to Sam Shot It, shout out to Brianna Devon and all of the camera department, is that you kind of all are like that
Yes.
photographer's voice. Because most of you start for photography first and then you kind of escalate. So kind of tell us where you're from, where your space, and how you got started as a director.
Yes, that's dope. And shout out to Sam. I'm actually working with
Hey!
him on the shoot tomorrow, so
Support. Listen,
I,
I think one thing that I've learned within not only the pandemic, but definitely the strike is that we have to support one another. I think the more that we get introduced to different spaces, with me, post production, I think with you, with directing, I think we start to learn more and more of us that are in these little nuggets and be like, come on. So definitely shout out to that. And I wish
yeah,
you all nothing but the best. But yeah, where are you from? Where did you start?
yeah. I'm from was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. From my family's and I'm
Hey,
Dominican from the Dominican Republic.
that's what's
Yes,
up.
yes, Caribbean vibes. Yes, yes. And so, yeah, it was just interesting. At 5 years, speaking of the Dominican Republic, my family loves to party. And so my mom, she used to throw
Yeah.
these huge parties because I'm from the Bronx in New York. So everyone from the apartment buildings would come in and just come to our apartment and,
Mm.
and like enjoy the time that we had. And wanted to immortalize those moments. And so she bought a camcorder when I was 5, and I actually grabbed it and I fell in love. And so that was my first experience like as a filmmaker. And from then on, it's just been
You know
trying to
what? I would
create as much as
totally
I
agree
can.
because even with my family in the West Coast, like my grandma was the one that like recorded us.
Mhm.
I remember there was one party that we had. It was like a family reunion, my great grandma's house in Pacoima, California. I'm here from California. And that was when Pacoima was fully
Oh
black.
man.
And we were dancing, and all I remember it was the year that Aaliyah died. And my cousin, who was a DJ, like I remember the
Mm.
day he scratched and like told us all that happened, and like we were all like just in a moment. And my grandmother recorded it, and I remember years later, like because she used to do the whole like try to transfer like the VHS tapes into the DVD. My grandfather got one for
Uh,
Christmas. Child, when she was able to transfer that thing, and we saw that, and just seeing that moment, it was a little fuzzy. But seeing that she was able to just like captivate that, I think that's what really got me to have my producer bug, honestly, as well. And so from
wow,
your family
that's
background,
beautiful.
you know, did you and just even in your childhood growing up, did you have spaces in school, like growing up, like in middle school, high school, that had little pieces of directing or like entertainment filled in your eyes, or was it not accessible?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think it was a little bit of both. So we had sort of a couple I had a couple teachers who realized that how much I love this and how much I was putting into it. And so they would help out. In middle school I had one class
Mm,
that it was called TV Studio. And go in there and it was
okay.
actually like broadcast sort of stuff. So like multi-camera and you could like make a switch and
Mm,
you use that camera or this camera. So it was to get exposed to that as like a sixth, seventh grader. And then in high school, I went to a visual arts high school that didn't have much, to be honest, but
yeah,
we had like one teacher that really cared, and so helped me apply to every film program possible for like, kids from the Bronx who didn't have money or connections. And I landed
yeah,
on something called the Ghetto Film School, which they're still out and they're doing amazing work, and I try to
that's
work with
good.
them and help as much as I can. They really helped me like even learn things in terms of like professionalism, like
Mm,
don't be late, or
yep.
you're gonna be late, tell people, or you set a date, even small things like that are super important to know, and just those growing pains, and they were really helpful. They helped me learn how to write scripts, professionalism, all that good stuff. So my dream is to one day be able to create a program like that. That helps kids like who I was just come into the industry and
Yeah, I think
learn their voice
100%. And
for
even,
sure.
you know, adding with me too, definitely broadcasting and radio is what we tapped into. I feel like we just was in the same world, just in opposite sides of the world, like opposites. Because
Oh,
honestly, how I got into it too as well was more in theater. But then when I got into college, I actually became a radio DJ. And random. I took the classes late at night. I was like, listen, I want to be a DJ. I want to like get into the radio field, and I had my own show for about like 2 or 3 years while I was in school. I honest. Okay, so my DJ name was DJ No IQ, and then I had my partner was DJ Technique. And what we would do is we introduced like music in all different genres. I was heavily in jazz because I was raised by my grandparents, and then my other partner was in hip hop. And so we dissected all the songs that were either out or like kind of old and found the original samples and played the samples. So whether it was like, you know, like Afro beats to like all the different where it would come from. And I think that's honestly how I really got in, again, producing. So fast forward to you, I think the biggest question I would say for you would be what was that one project that made you be like go from okay, I'm doing this, you know, throughout my childhood career to be like, oh, I'm gonna do this as a career. Because I know sometimes with family too, like I had that experience where I was like, I'm gonna do this, and they're like, I don't see a check. So, what made you decide to
funny
like be like that moment, that project that was like, oh, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life?
for sure. And I just want to comment. That's amazing that you
Thank
have
you.
that background. I could tell already. I could tell like just by talking. Definitely have the enunciation and like just is there's something about like radio hosts that you just know how to keep us engaged. So I'm like you see me, I'm leaning in every time you're talking. I'm just and on next word.
Power
So that's
106, hit
that's
me
fire. That's
up. New
amazing.
York, hit me up. Put me in the game, coach.
That's they need, looking for a new host at the
Listen, put
Breakfast
me in
Club.
interview.
It should be me for
So
sure.
like we said, reeling back in, what was that one project, that one aha moment that really made you be like, this is gonna be the rest of your life?
Yeah, it was actually I had done a lot of assisting on music videos and things of that nature. And then through that I met this one DP who owned his own equipment. So he owned his own camera and his own Steadicam
Yeah.
gig, not gig, rig. So Yeah, so he had his own camera and Steadicam rig. So I walked up to him and I was like, "Yo," so I was working like 4 or 5 jobs at the
Mm.
time. So I was assisting on music videos. I was at Home Depot. I was at Abercrombie and Fitch, and then just a
Yeah.
bunch of like different jobs like that, just trying to save up money. So I had saved up, and I was still living with my parents. So I had saved up like a rack, and I told them a
No,
thousand
it's okay.
dollars. I'm sorry
I
for the
knew,
slang.
but listen, the
Uh,
people who don't know.
So I gave him $1,000, and I was like, I have this short film idea where I basically just come with me around the entirety of the Bronx, and I just want to
Mm.
film the culture that lives there, because I see through
Wow.
gentrification it's starting to get eradicated. I wanted to sort of what we were
Yeah.
talking about how we actually got into film. I wanted to immortalize those moments, and so he was like, "All right, I'll take the money," and so he came with me and we went around the
Mm.
Bronx and filmed a bunch of cultural moments. And the project is still on my website, but that was my first real
Yeah.
project that I had paid someone to do. And so I threw it online, and I did a little bit of sort of like influencer marketing. So anybody who was had like a following on Instagram that was from the Bronx and Dominican, the
Yeah.
community that I was trying to speak to, I give them like $20 or $30 to just post about it. And so through that, I met
What?
this one man. Yeah, yeah, just trying to make sure my stuff gets seen. Because I love creating, but I also want to impact people. So getting the chance for people to actually see it and getting that feedback was really important for me. And so yeah, through that I met this man named Calixto Chinchilla,
Okay.
who runs the New York Latino Film Festival. So through there, he saw the project and he actually paid me to do a trailer for his festival, which is run by HBO as well. So it was a big job for me, and I'm grateful. And it was just from the lesson that I learned from that was like invest in yourself. And so it was just from a small project that I did, and I invested in myself, and then was able to get this bigger project, which then also led to me getting my first Nike commercial, which was super important in
Wow.
my career. So
And I
it was
know from
awesome.
that jumped you into more things and more things. And so for you as a director, like what now led you into the Vivo world? Because I know for people who are in music, I know a lot of people of my audience is TV, film, but I also have people in the music world. And most musicians or most artists, especially now with social media and technology, it's like now you have to have the visuals, you have to be your own brand. And so, what led you to that opportunity of now working with Vivo? And I would honestly twist with an additional question: as a director, are you also in the artist's development?
Mm, mm, mm.
Because
That's
I know
what do you
most of
mean
the
by
time,
in
like
artist
especially for
development?
me, like I did a show in regards to artist development, the next big thing with BET, and I learned that with an artist, it's not only just the music, right? Like how you had to give people to pay, like to put your trailer or your project to their content and spread the word and the word of mouth. They have to do the same thing, like with their art, with their covers, with going on tours, whether it's big or small, to even back in the day how music videos used to pay all the big coins to make those music videos grand. Shout out to Hype Williams and director X.
I wish I wish
And so for you,
I
do you feel
had.
like when you got that opportunity for Vivo, when you talk about that journey, in those couple of projects that you've done, like I seen you did with Bia and to Future, what like have are you included in that artist development?
Yeah, I would say to a certain extent for sure. So for a lot of the time, what happens is we'll hear the music
Okay.
first, like before it's released. We'll talk to the a lot of artists have most artists have creative
Yeah.
directors in their own team internally and things of that nature. And they're artists at the end of the day, so they have when they're creating music, they have certain things and themes that
Mm.
run through their music, and so we'll have those conversations with the artists and the artist teams, and try to get in their head and understand, where were you when you were creating this, mentally, where were you when you were creating this piece of art, and how could this visual be a
Yeah.
visual supplement to that art, and like help. So I come in there is creative direction on my end for sure,
Mm.
in terms of the artist team, but it's more supplemental. It's more trying to make sure that I'm bringing my voice to what the themes that they're actually trying to speak
Yeah.
to originally, for sure. And then artists are just like, listen to the music. What let me know what you think,
And so,
and
how did you
that's
get
fun too.
Vivo?
So Vivo, it's interesting. So I have one of the 5,000 jobs that I was doing at once was at
Okay.
advertising agency. So I started off as an intern at 72 and Sunny, and then started climbing my way up and became a producer at
Okay.
McCann Health. So I was producing pharma commercials. Uh, and so from there, I was actually able to build up a resume in the advertising space. And so I had like what I'm still trying to do nowadays too is just build that perfect amalgamation of
Right.
corporate and creative. Because I be a starving artist. Like I grew up broke, and I knew that wasn't the type of life.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not for me, personally. So, so yeah, just being able to get that balance, I think, was really what helped me out. Because at Vivo, it's a very it's really is the best of both worlds. It's being creative, but then there's a lot of admin and corporate stuff as well. A lot of professionalism is involved. It's not like in the music video world where I'm not gonna say it's
Yeah.
not professional. It's definitely very professional. But sometimes things are uh
I see, but it's like
trying to make sure. But
those who know,
it's,
if you know, you
you
know.
already the lot
Yeah.
is not corporate. I would say that. So, definitely having the best of both worlds was
Mm.
definitely
And
a benefit for me,
so,
for sure.
going outside of the music, has there been other stuff? And you also said that you did commercial. And so, I would say for a director that's coming in like fresh, we say green, what would be like one or two tips that you would give to them? Because I know sometimes directors, they can be a little Erica Badu, they be sensitive about that. And some of them, like, like for me, like I want to be flexible in my storytelling. So, what would be some one or two tips for a fresh new director coming in?
I love that question because I'm
Mm.
talking to managers and stuff, and they're saying I'm fresh and I'm new. So it's like interesting. I think J. Cole had a line where he's like I'm little bro
Yo,
and big
why
bro
is
all
J.
at
Cole
once.
like my
And I
mantra for this whole like year? I watched his interview with Lil Yachty, and I was like, and this was before he did his announcement with Drake, and I was like, yo, like the way J. Cole and his history, like it go phenomenal,
great,
phenomenal. So yeah, going back to you
great.
because I think you're the GOAT, honestly. What would be some one or two tips that you would give to a fresh director?
Yeah, I think the best piece of advice I got was which is sounds very obvious, but it's like do what you want to be doing. So early on in my career, I was doing a lot of
Mm.
photography for like influencers and things of that nature. And I ran into some, and I even got to the point where I was like doing it's called portfolio reviews, where you'll bring your portfolio. And I was speaking to this guy at the New York Times, and he was like, if you want to be a filmmaker,
Mm-hmm.
why are you here? And at first, why are you being rude? Like, but it was true. After some reflection, it's like, if I want to make films, why am I doing photography? Which is it definitely helped me in my vision, but at the end of the day, it would have been way more beneficial if I would have just been doing short films and writing and investing all my
Right.
time in what I actually wanted to be doing. Um, and so that's really one piece of advice is like do what you want to be doing. So um, I hate when people say start making films on your phones,
Right.
but honestly, if that's to the point where that's where you at right now, like just make some films on your phones, you know what I mean, and then continue to work your 4 or 5 jobs so you could afford to do some other shorts and things of that nature and keep building. So I started and I'm living proof for that, because that one short that I did, that
Right.
I saved up $1,000, you know the one that really catapulted my whole career. If I didn't do that, literally I
Wow.
would have no career right now. um, it's crazy to think about. I like get
Yeah.
scared, like what should I be doing now? But it really truly is that if I was still waiting for people to hire me, um, I would not have been where I'm at now, and so I would have never gotten hired. And if you think about it, it's like, why would anyone hire you to do anything
Agreed. Yeah.
that you haven't done
Yeah.
before?
And, even tapping into that, like, I feel like most of us in creatives, like, we're literally just going as we go. Hell, when I got into Hollywood, I was like, oh, most of these people who are in these titles, they don't even know what they're doing. And so, for
Mm.
you, like, I even would tap into the biggest tip is like collaboration. I know some people, their social batteries be high and low. For you as a director, why is collaboration so important?
Oh, collaboration is everything. Especially, yeah, collaboration is everything. Um, Especially when you really realize that
Mm.
collaboration only
Yeah.
strengthens your work. You know what I mean? If like even right now, I had to earlier this year, I had to take sort of a look at my ego, and because I'm a writer and I really want to
Yeah.
be like an amazing writer and tell amazing stories. But I had to bring a friend on to co-write this feature that I'm writing because of
Mm.
the level of
Mm-hmm.
mastery that I want. You know what I mean? So just being able to be flexible and collaborate and treat everyone the way you want to be treated. And there's also so many different
Yeah.
perspectives and ideas that you get from collaborating, and it's just you're just really doing yourself a
Agree.
disservice if you don't work
I
with
think,
others for sure.
has there ever been a moment where there wasn't collaboration? And was it a moment where you kind of had to kind of step in to either remind them or like kind of shift the energy going from a negative to a positive? And again, you don't have to tell much in detail. We could go into.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
you saw my eyes wandering. Like, "Ugh, I have two answers to that. I love your
It's the
questions, by the way.
producer in
Again,
me. I could.
this is really, I was yeah, really a testament to like proper training, proper like care and crafts into what you do. So like, thank you I feel so blessed to be speaking to you and have such a high level amount of
Oh
questions
man,
coming
thank
my
you
way.
so
So I
much. Thank
appreciate you.
you really so much. Because sometimes I be throwing questions and it's just that like nature to me. And like you said, like how you feel like you're green. Like I've been doing it for like 8 to 9 years, and people still like look at me like you ain't even. I'm like I have. So thank you. I really do appreciate that for real, for real. Yes, thank you.
That's the crazy part of it. And I'm sorry, I'll answer your question right, but that's just another part of the industry where it's like you mentioned tips. Like you really have to be solidified in your
Mm.
you got to believe in yourself and not ownership, but for real, like people will try to knock you. I mean, just as earlier this year, a few months ago, I had somebody tell me like that I don't know what I'm doing, that I have to like go back to train and
What?
shit like that after
Wow.
every after every all the yeah, it's crazy. So but instead of getting I feel like a younger version of me would have been like, what the fuck you talking about, blah, blah, blah. Like but now like I'm solidified in that I'm confident in what I'm doing and who I am. Humbly speaking, of course, I'm always learning and always, but yeah, it's a nice balance of being humble but also knowing who you are and what you've done, and you have a vision. So always just stand true in who you are and be confident, because this industry is not an industry where
Yeah.
reaffirming a lot of the time and things of that nature. So you really have
And so
who you
So
are
if I'm coming
for
up to
sure.
you at a networking event and you give me your log line, like I'm like, who is Luis Santos? Like, what would your storytelling be? And like, have you fulfilled that storytelling yet?
No, I'm literally in chapter one. I
Yeah.
feel God willing, I'm in chapter one. Writer, director, producer who cares about telling human stories, stories that really um, make humans think about our place in the world and how we interact with the world. Um, and yeah, I wanna tell my own stories, but I also really want to empower other people
Yeah.
that look like me, Black, Latino, uh, Latine, uh, people, to really tell their own stories and just empower. What I really want to do is empower and inspire. That's the goal for sure. So taking it day by day. First, I gotta make sure I'm at a place where I can. Well,
Yeah.
not first. I try to lift as I climb. Honestly, uh, I'm not where I'm trying to be yet, but I'm still trying to bring people to where I'm at now. As I climb, and so it's a always been an interesting challenge for sure.
Which
But
leads me
that's the
into
goal.
mentorship. I think the biggest thing as a creative too, we always like you said, as we're climbing, it's like we have people watching us and get inspired. So is there any, I know there's some people in here that are supporting you in your journey, but is there any particular mentees that you have? And for someone especially it's networking season, and I know people have come up to you and be like, hey, let me talk to you, I got something. What would be a tip for a mentee if I'm looking for mentorship through you?
Damn, I'll be so grateful because I'll still be bothering like
Facts.
my mentors or
I still be hitting them up
OGs.
like, hey, coffee, Zoom, virtual.
Yeah,
Listen, Zoom is like the best thing, especially when people ain't got time. 10-15 minute Zoom will change your life.
100 change your life. Yeah, I think what has been helpful for me and helpful for what has been most effective when I'm helping others or being a mentor to others is if you come to me with a specific question or something specifically that maybe something that you've seen that I have done and I have accomplished that I can, just give you game on. But I think just the most ineffective thing is just coming to me with like put me on or how do I do without a specific uh, without a specific question or a specific
Yeah.
thing that you actually need help on. Um, am I back?
Oh, you're back.
So yeah, being able to just being able to have a
Mm.
specific thing that I can help you with would be great. I'm unfortunately like crazy busy right now, and I hate how that sounds initially. I'm not trying to say like don't hit me up. My D crazy open, my email's crazy
Yeah.
open, sometimes too open, and I ASAP as soon as I can. But I am also trying to build my own thing, and so if you can hit me with like an actual like a direct question or a direct topic that you would need advice on, that'll be most
Mm-hmm.
effective for sure.
And so,
For sure. Oh, and sorry, one other piece of thing is of advice that I got is that everyone loves to jump on a moving train, but it's hard for people to help you
can
start
you
it.
say that
So
again, please? Please say that again for the people in the audience in the back.
Yep, I swear to God that changed my life. Like, what I'll repeat it just for austerity's sake, or whatever. But yeah, people love to jump on a moving train, but it's very hard for anyone to come on and try to help you start the train. And so, um, yeah, it's just like what I did. I made that small film myself, and then then Calixto Chinchilla found it, and he helped me get my first paid job, which then helped me get Nike, which then helped me get
Yeah.
all these other things. And so, do do some shorts if you want to be a film, if you want to make narrative work, do some shorts. If you want to if you want to do music videos, find an artist. There's hundreds of artists out there. I'll show you the DMs. I used to DM literally
Mm.
every artist in the Bronx to let me shoot a video. Like
Yeah.
none of them used to let me do it, and then now it's crazy. But now so it's yeah, just hit. If you want to do music videos, do that. If you want to be a narrative filmmaker, maybe just start working with actors on some like small one or two scenes that you can do
Yeah.
very contained, that
Yeah.
not expensive. You know what I mean? So now you're learning how to work with actors and direct actors. Now you're learning composition. There's ways to get started, and then you just keep building. I think a problem we have now is and I have the same problem. We
Yeah.
just want everything to be perfect. Like, and unfortunately, when we just got to start moving and things will start
Wow.
building
Wow.
for
That is
sure.
some deep tips. Even that one right there, you better keep the fact that we're having this live and a recap. We will have this full video up as soon as we finish this. But if you did not take this into consideration, you missing out. So I would say, before we kind of wrap up in our last question, what are some future projects or future things that you're getting into that we should be looking out for?
Oh, I appreciate the question. So I have a documentary that in the name
Yeah.
of like getting up and doing things on your own. I have this 3 years ago. I taught myself how to. For the past 2 years,
Okay.
I've been teaching myself how to shoot on film. In January, I felt confident enough to shoot a whole feature myself. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. So it's thank you. It's a documentary feature. And so I've been editing that all on my own. Just because I spoke a lot about collaboration, and then I'm gonna say I did the whole shit
It's
myself.
like that meme where it's like that little table and it's like,
It-
yeah, all those
it-
little positions, it's like her behind. Yes, I get it. I get it.
that- but collaboration was very important. I just didn't have the money to pay
Yeah.
anyone, so I had to, do it on my own. But definitely collaborate as much as possible when you can. But aside from that, so yeah, I shot it in January, and then shot it in January. Been editing ever since. Feeling really good about it. Hopefully, have it sold to a
Yeah.
streamer by Q1 next year, by top early next year. And then, so yeah, that's one project for sure. And then I'm writing a couple features. One of them I have written, and I'm just cleaning it up. And the other one, I'm currently writing it, hoping to have a first draft by the end of the year. And then yeah, just continuing writing pilots too for TV. So just continuing to and then I'm at Vivo still. So I'm doing a lot of music stuff with different artists. Worked
Yeah.
with I mean I can't say names, but about to get myself in trouble. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm really
Wow.
grateful for everyone for
Congratulations on
sure.
all the accolades coming and other future accolades coming. And so, like I said, this is the last IG Live talk that we will be having for the season, as December, like you said, you doing a couple things. QOP is doing a couple things, so we'll be
Mm-hmm.
heavily busy in December. So we're going to take that time off to kind of reset, regroup as we launch everything at the top of 2024 for our Q1. But definitely, it was a blessing to be able to talk with you. Finally, I know that we have been like tit for tat and supporting each other, and it is good to finally like see your face in person. I think that, of course, like the East Coast, like I'm starting to get my little, community out there in the East Coast, and I see y'all doing big, huge things, especially for hip hop. I know that like it's hip hop 50th anniversary, so it's been popping over there. But aside from that, I think like with the documentary and like the feature film festival space, I think the East Coast is really blasting that off. So I think kudos to you, and hopefully, all the directors that are out here and still watching this, please follow him if you can. Where can they follow your page?
Yeah, on Instagram I'm LSG. Well, it's funny. Well, we're here, but I'm LSGJR. So it's just my initials. My website is directedbyluis.com. I'm on LinkedIn for the
Right.
professional corporate homies, Luis. Um, and before we leave, though, I do want to ask, like, because I am such a fan of you
Ooh.
and your work and what you're doing. Just if there's anything that I can do or that anyone watching could help do, like, what would you love for us to
Well,
do and support
I
you?
actually, like I said, I have a lot of things cooking up. IG Live Talks, I'm going to have them on pause for right now. And I know with networking season, we're kind of going to be supporting people in LA, locally. I know that a couple screenings and a couple mixers are happening.
All right.
But there is a huge announcement. So there's one project that I have collaboration with Hello Fallon Entertainment. We are doing a fashion and lifestyle
Wow.
podcast collaboration with our A-list celebrity. I will not say who. We have almost finished the cast ensemble. I am just looking for one more male co-host. So if you know any males that are interested in fashion, music, have a nice personality, love being on virtual IG TikTok lives, send me their social media handles. We are still doing interviews to kind of captivate that one slot. So if you have anybody, and again, it's all virtual, so I don't need to have people in person. Just give me your best social media handles so we can be able to kind of fill that slot in. I have another project that's coming up, and we are actually in need of hair and makeup. So if you know any hair and makeup people, specifically in Los Angeles base, holla at me if you can. And then we'll have one more announcement, but I'm not going to do that until later on today. But a lot of things are cooking up for Queens of Production. Again, we are a huge resource collective in supporting not only, fellow directors like yourself, but other people who are in other different accolades, makeup, film, directing, dancing. I don't care, whoever. We just want to be the cheerleaders of your journey, because I know it's really hard to be able to like know that you're alone, but you're not alone. I've been in it. I'm still in the trenches, so I get it. So, as we wrap up this IG Live talk, I again thank you so much, Louise, for just being an amazing special guest. And hopefully we can be able to continue your accolades. If we need to send you some interns to do for some more stuff, definitely. Wait, Did you use one of any of our interns for your? Because I sent some people.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, it's tough. I definitely have I have like a whole sheet
Okay.
of everyone for sure. It's just tough. A lot of these companies or even these artists don't want to have they want to have closed sets or
Makes sense.
the least amount of people possible. But I had a shoot in New York that I because I'm based out of LA now. I
What?
don't know if I told
Word.
you.
Okay. So what? Oh wow. Okay. I thought that you was in New York and Flip. Interesting.
I mean, I'm hopefully New York is home, so
Yeah.
I don't plan on living here forever, but or I'm enjoying it out here.
The
The
weather
weather's
out here
amazing,
has been a
so
little
it,
windy today. Like, I don't know. Beyonce didn't call out the Renaissance. I know her little Renaissance movie coming up. I don't know what's going on, but I'm trying to stay inside as much as I can until later today. But yeah, definitely would love to, support and continue to support your stuff. And since you are LA based, if I know some people interns, I'll start sending them your way.
my way for sure, definitely. So yeah, I have a whole. And as much as I can, I'm bringing people on. I got a list for people in Atlanta, New York, LA, even like I think Detroit, like cities like that. I'm always trying to shoot
I
everywhere, so definitely
heard, you know what? I
build
heard
that list for.
Detroit has really been increasing in regards to. I know Tubi, of course, has their camp
Mm.
there, but in regards to like the films have been
Oh, word.
bananas.
That's amazing. Yeah, I filmed out there once and it was beautiful. Love the people.
I
I would have lived
was
out
gonna
there.
say
Honestly,
it's
it's just
cold.
the
I'm like,
cold, the
it's
scary
cold.
weather.
Like, isn't it worse than New York?
Yeah, it's too cold for me. But other than that, everything
Mm.
was beautiful for
Well,
sure. So
oh my
it's great.
gosh. Well, thank you so much for just tapping in. Again, thank you for the audience that has tapped in with us thus far. Again, we will be having a recap of this video in the next couple days, but this full video, if you want to check it out now, will be dropping as soon as we cut off. And again, this is going to be the last of the IG Live Talks for this year, as we will be gearing up for a lot of stuff that's happening at the top of the year. So stay tuned. And if you want to take into the recaps, we'll make sure to not only have it on our QOP IG, but we also have it on our website as well.
Awesome.
Of
Thank
course.
you
You
so
as well.
much. I
Thank you. Thank
appreciate you.
you.
Have a great day.
Bye.